The Diary of a Certified Psychopath. 9th of November, 2021. Reality Check, Part 6. A fortuitous gap in the unforecast drizzle, enough dark degrees to avoid Zone 0 limbo, and the chance to add a 6th entry to my modest database of Zwift's organic doppelgangers. In terms of dimensions and appearance, this simple circuit, secluded within Shoreham's innocuous suburbs, is very closely aligned with its virtual sibling, running to almost exactly the same distance and incorporating just 10 metres of additional climbing, whilst elevation distribution is also proportionally similar. An initial shallow ascent along Upper Shoreham Road yields to the steeper gradient of New Barn Road, at the top of which a left turn takes you back along an almost perfectly flat downside, followed by another left and a descent to the bottom of the drive to complete one lap. Adequately smooth surfaces, safe to ride throughout the day, with just a little extra caution required during rush hours, and well illuminated at night, aside from a small section towards the west end of Downside, which foxes have a tendency to frequent. The only potential negatives are 2 pelican crossings along the main road eastbound segment, and the junction joining the latter to the loop's start-finish point, which provides limited vision of traffic approaching from the right, and would require some stationary time at busy periods. 10th of November. A fair old ferring. Unsure of how to start, just begin. If not certain how to begin, just start. If stumped on how to stop, consider yourself a swift learner. A half-baked improverb that, under intellectual scrutiny, may harbour no real rhyme, reason or logic, but which at this small and serene hour of an unseasonably clement autumn night resulted in something with a middle, and is surely better than nothing at all. Oh, and that Trainer Road lot don't half talk. 11th of November. A little more of Salance. Peddling off last supper's indulgences, and still on the hunt for duplicate number 7, but more than content to utilise what I have already created, or should I say, creatively reconstituted, by cinnamon lamplight of an autumn night's sublime serenity. Indeed, Little Salance is by far the best nocturnally lit of all 6 real-life incarnations thus far, and together with a southerly whisper harbouring no hint of sting that caressed 2 grateful cheeks and 10 gloveless fingertips with a velvet touch, could and should have engendered a few extra miles of foul-weather insurance. Let's hope that the volcano I'm having shipped over from Watopia next month keeps the circuit's temperatures sufficiently toasty throughout winter. Yes, the word toasty is overused throughout the cycling community, but only in relation to overpriced clothing. 12th of November. Character constructing. A furious turn around the block and clock, battling a southerly and blustery foe that I should have been thankful was not flaying skin off my face and fingers in the depth of a near winter night, but which ultimately frustrated me only slightly less than the Windows updates that broke my mum's computer yesterday, and which kept me up until just before this ride began, finding only a partial fix for. No, she will not be upgrading to 11, having only migrated from 7 last year. And no, a Mac would be even worse. Had it not been for my infallible Niner gracefully and therapeutically suppressing every last stab from the ghastliest surfaces this side, that side, and beyond the darkest side of Mars, this description would have been as brief as my response to a Microsoft customer satisfaction survey. 13th of November. Supplies and insurance. So, which will finish faster? An 11-year-old Miele WT 2780 on its sportswear wash and spin dry program? Or a nocturnal cycling hobbyist carrying out his regular weekend shopping trip? Well, had the wind been a shade more south-southwest, as forecast, and the washing machine hadn't cheated by skipping its post-cycle anti-crease phase, I'd have romped this race by at least a 5-minute winning margin. 14th of November. One of Solance and a little more. During this casual nocturnal coastal canter, I listened to the popular television artist Bob Ross painting a picture. Then, upon arriving home, I watched what I had just seen with my ears, only to discover that the liberal amounts of Prussian blue which had flowed from my mind's eye and that of Mr. Ross's brush ultimately displayed significantly greater discrepancies than those evidenced by the fictional and factual dimensions of these topographical duplicates. Nonetheless, a most fulfilling mental exercise to assuage the frequent sense of futility evoked by perpetual physical challenges, and one safely feasible upon blissfully deserted roads.